Hi yoga friends, I appreciate you visiting me today, and we are going to go through some yoga poses differently today than we usually do. If you've been in some of the classes, we have used yoga props, just a few of them, and we have used yoga blocks. And with the yoga blocks, we usually, it allows to balance better, to have a longer stretch and reach, and so it allows you to be strengthened, especially in the upper body. But we're going to do a few poses today using just the yoga blocks. You can get the yoga blocks just about anywhere. They're inexpensive. If you don't have yoga blocks, if you have a really thick book or something, so what you want to do is kind of prop yourself up at certain points you can reach and stretch. So we are actually going to start in a standing position, our mountain pose, with our palms back, shoulders back. And we're just gonna go ahead and warm up by closing your eyes and take about 3 long deep breaths. In through the nose and exhale, parting the lips and just allowing the breath to escape. And settling all the way through the feet, spreading the toes. Taking another inhale. And set that breath free. And one more, inhale. And longer exhale. We're calming the central nervous system. And so we always want to go into the pose relaxed. Go ahead and drop your chin to your chest, pull the shoulders back. Rotate the right ear to the right shoulder, keeping the left shoulder down. Your chin back to your chest again. And then rotate the left ear to the left shoulder, keeping the right shoulder down. The warm-up can happen in any position. You can start in your seated position, chin back to your chest, standing or lying down. Blink your eyes, lift your head. Then if you have more time, you can do a longer warm-up. But we're going to do this today with the blocks. So anyway, we are going to start with just one block. I have 2 that we can work with. So if you have one block, this works out fine. The alignment with the block is incredible. So you want to take the block, we're going to do our mountain pose, our standing position. So what we want to do is we want to align our feet, our legs, and our hips. So we're going to bring the block in between the knees. And then we're going to press into the block. As you look down, you'll see that my feet are perfectly aligned with the hip area. And then I'm going to reach down and I'm going to take hold of the other block. And I'm going to take the block, both hands. I'm going to press the palms into the side of the block. Spread the toes. Keep pressing your knees into the block. Look forward. Take a long, deep breath. And then as you exhale, press into the block with your palms. Feel the strengthening through the arms, into the shoulders. And bring the block all the way up. Take your gaze upward if that honors your neck. Take a deep inhale. And exhale as you come forward with the block. Keep a flat back. Keep holding on to the block. And come back up again. Inhale, press into the block with your palms and into the block with your knees. Exhale, come all the way down. Do this about 3 more rounds on your own. And then go ahead and bring the block to the mat. So we did our standing fold, our forward fold now. And so we hold on to the block as we align our hips our shoulders. Now we're going to take the block from between our knees and we're going to bring the block in front of us on the mat. And we're going to go into our down dog. So I'm going to take the blocks, put the palms on the block, step back with the right foot, then the left, and just start to come into your down dog. So you can pedal your feet like we usually do. Drop your head between your shoulders. And keep pedaling. Just allows you to lengthen and strengthen in this pose. A little easier. Pressing the palms into the blocks. Come into a plank, such as come forward. Straighten the arms. You can hold this for about 3 long deep breaths. Come back into down dog. Drop your head between your arms, scoop out between the shoulders. Lift at the hips. Come forward again into your plank. Hold this pose as long as you'd like. You can always come back to the video. And come back to down dog again. And again, pedal your feet. Lift the hips. Look on your capital A. And then start to walk your feet forward. And so if you've done down dog in the past and you've had some problems, maybe the ticket would be just to grab a couple blocks and see if that helps. We're going to reverse swan dive, come up, palms together, and all the way down. And then our next pose, we're going to go into our Trikonasana, or triangle pose. So we are going to take one of the blocks and we'll place the block to the outside of the mat. I'm going to take the other block and place it to the other side of the mat. We're going to put the right foot forward and the toes face the front of the mat. Left foot is at a 45-degree angle, a nice wide stance. Pull the shoulders back, arms out. And then we're going to take the right hand down and we're just going to grab on the block. And you can put it closer to your foot. Left arm comes up. And with the block, you can have a longer extension. If you want to start out with the block on the high level, you can do that. You can always drop it down to the second level or even all the way down, whatever is comfortable for you, but this is a good way to start. Straighten your legs, look up if that honors your balance. Now you can either take, if you just got one block, you could take the block and put it in front of the foot. And then you take the left hand down. This is called a revolving triangle. Left hand comes down into the block, right arm comes up. So you're balancing and stabilizing yourself. Bring that right hand down. Grab onto your block. This really does help you. And you can revolve the triangle. Come back to the triangle. And switch back and forth. And then come back up. And heel toe your feet together. We'll do the other side. And like I said, if you only have one block, not a problem. Just switch it to the other side. Left toes point toward the front of the mat. Give yourself about a leg length in between the heels. Right foot's at a 45-degree angle. Pull the shoulders back. Arms up. Got over your fingertips. Make sure that you're lifting at the arms, lowering the shoulders. Look back at the right fingertips. Your legs are straight, but your knees are never locked. Go ahead and bump out that hip. Come down. Grab that block. Right arm comes up. If you're having trouble keeping the right shoulder back, you can wrap that arm around you. Pull the shoulder back. Look up at that arm for that. Bring your arm back up. And then come all the way up. And then we're going to switch and do the revolving triangle on this side. So we're going to move the block to the inside of your foot. Come back up. Shoulders back. Come all the way down. And this time we're going to revolve by putting the right hand on the block and the left arm comes up. And then come back up again. Put the left arm hand on the block, right arm comes up. I'm going to move the block to the outside of the foot. And we'll come all the way back up. And heel toe your feet together. Another pose we do a lot of times is that we do chair pose. So with chair pose, this is another alignment pose that we can use the block for. So we're going to take the block and we're going to put it between the knees just like we did before. And we're going to take the other block, we're going to hold on to it just like we did before, only we're going to sit back. Now for those of you who may have some problems with their knees, if you have two blocks, or if you just want to use one of the blocks, you can actually put the blocks under your heels. And sometimes that takes a lot of pressure off the knees. So if we're doing chair, sometimes if you have knee issues, this is a better use of the block. And then come back up. So, as you can see, the blocks are very useful, very handy. We're going to come down into our low lunge, right foot forward, left foot comes back. We're going to come down onto that left quad. We're going to use the block on both sides. And that way, pulls the shoulders back. Walking the toes out so that your knee is in line with your ankle. Go ahead and take 3 long deep breaths in this one. It's a nice hip opener. A nice stretch for your lower spine. Give some relief to the sciatica. And your blocks to the side. And go ahead and walk that foot over and come into pigeon. You can use your blocks in pigeon. Either prop up that hip, or you can come down on your elbows in pigeon and make the transition a little easier. Now, of course, you want to do both sides when we're doing this, okay? And one more thing I'm going to show you is when we do child's pose. Like I said, you're going to do the other side of pigeon. You're going to bring yourself up, come down into pose of devotion. It's Spread your knees the width of the mat, big toes together. Come back into child's pose. If you have problems with your hips, you're going to want to take the block and you're going to put it right between, so you're actually sitting on it, and that gives you a little more mobility. And take the other block and come down and rest your forehead. And take 5 long deep breaths in child's pose with your block. I hope some of these tips have helped out the block. Next time we're going to do a few things with the strap. And with these poses, sometimes it's just a little easier to get into them and making the stretches a little deeper. So I hope this helped you, and namaste.